Oh, there was this video that I wanted to watch. It was an interview clip with No Jumper and Rich Homie Quan, and I thought I had an interesting take that I think a lot of y'all would be intrigued by. The title says, SoundCloud rappers ruined music. I think that there's truth in this, but not necessarily in all cases, but we'll see what they say.
It's a lot of fake popping.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fake popping.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fake popping, he said.
Easier than ever to be fake popping. Actually, no, SoundCloud era was when it was really easy to be fake popping.
Yeah, SoundCloud era messed up music.
You feel like that?
Oh, yeah.
Why, what was your perspective on that?
I'm in love with music so much, and ain't nothing against the SoundCloud rappers who pop, because I'm not against no nigga getting no money, but I mean, it took away from like the lyrics, it took away from the.
Okay, so 1 point is lyrics. I'm just trying to keep track.
Rappers putting in footwork. You know what I'm saying? Being foot soldiers or going to mingle with the DJs and building the records up. You know what I'm saying? Or having those relationships.
All right, so lyricism, and then he's talking about like in the field marketing or networking. Okay, so that's 2 points.
Just like I said, it took away the footwork. It made everybody thought they could be a rapper. So now the content is not about content no more, and it's more about a look.
Right, well, because you had to blow up without the internet.
Okay, look, number 3.
Internet. And then the internet helped you blow up after you already had some motion, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you were like a poppin' internet rapper in a sense where like the internet was going crazy talking about you.
Yeah, like before social media was what it is today.
Blogs and all this early shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like I ain't mad at myself. That's why, but that's part of the motivation. Like, oh nah, man, I want to touch some of this new money. I want to see what the streaming numbers feel like. I don't have a streaming plaque yet. All my plaques are 1 million, 2 million sold out, like hard copies. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't digitally. I don't have no digital plaque, so I definitely want to get some digital plaque.
It's crazy though when you think about it, because like the SoundCloud era kind of gets.
That's actually crazy that the songs that did well with hard copies, and I remember when what was the song that Rich Homie Quan came out with? It was a music video. I played that shit like every day before football games. It was like my hype song. Rich Homie Quan, what is it? Type of Way? Yeah, that Type of Way.
That rap of being,
Oh, but it's crazy that he doesn't have any, it doesn't translate into streaming, because I feel like a lot of the older artists, they actually do get a lot of streams, like Lil Wayne or I don't even know, the Beatles. It might not be as much as what they would have with the hard copies, but it still gets some translation. Like, it's been a while that streaming it. I feel like he would have gotten some plaques that way.
The lyrics were stupid, etc.
But he kind of fell off. He kind of like fell out of relevance when Young Thug started going solo, and then he kind of took the spotlight.
And like everything was just kind of generic, but then at the same time, that's the world that Juice WRLD and XXX came from.
Yes.
There was a lot of people who really like changed the fucking rap game, but most of them got their careers cut short, realistically.
Yeah, but like like I say, it's always gonna be very few talent that you can feel real talent. But but like I say, in the SoundCloud, like no against none of the SoundCloud rapper, but like Lil Pump and shit. What's the other one who was with Lil Pump?
Smoke Purp.
Yeah, like it's almost like that shit gone. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't talking about them no more. So it's like that's what I mean. Why we gave anybody a chance to have a voice. Like it wasn't about lyrics no more. It was more about looks and I'm a hip hop. I love music. I'm musically inclined. So I felt like the SoundCloud took away from the hard work that us real artists put in.
Okay, chat. What are we feeling? I think that he's right and wrong in certain ways. So there were 3 points. One was lyrics. I think no matter what, there's always been ass lyrics in hip hop. Although I agree in the sense that now that SoundCloud and the internet has become so popular and the barrier to entry is so low that you don't really have to work your record, so you know that you can just drop it on a whim, like the night that you record the song, rather than maybe going back and like rewriting some lyrics or perfecting it, that And anybody on the side of the street, any kid from school who knows how to work a laptop can release something on SoundCloud. It is not hard. Same thing with YouTube. It is not hard. So since the barrier to entry is so low, there are a ton of trash ass rappers that do not deserve to put a mic near their mouth. More like a fucking dick. No, pause. But so I agree with that part. The low barrier to entry. I think that there were poor lyricists back in the day too. Probably. I haven't heard them. But yeah, there's probably a lot more worse music now. However, with that being said, with what Adam said, I feel like the talent now, because there's so much competition, that the stakes are even higher in that the people who are really good are better than the best people before. It's kind of like the LeBron versus like, not Jordan, but like the 1950s basketball. Like LeBron is going up against the best athletes in the world, whereas 1950s LeBron would literally be scoring 100 points every single game. So rappers like Juice WRLD, they're running laps around rappers 10, 15 years ago. Maybe not like Lil Wayne, but even kinda, because he could be melodic on the spot while freestyling. So and just like the artistry too, it's progressed to a point where it's past just hip-hop. So I think that the top artists are technically better than the top artists back in the day. Now what was number 3? The look. It's become more than just the music, which I agree. I think branding is important because it's something to latch onto and remember. Because there is so much more music, it's hard to become a fan of something anymore because it's just fast food. Like you really need something to remember, and a lot of times if you have a cool look, that's enough. Or it just makes the music feel better. Like Cardi being a vampire, it's like a deeper experience than just a song that you found on the radio. That's why pop doesn't really garner too many diehard fans, unless you're like Taylor Swift. But it's a big song, but a lot of the people, like pop artists such as like Roddy Ricch or whatever, he's a rapper but had the box. The song got bigger than them, and then he flopped the next album. Whereas if you get a fan base that like fucks with you just as a person, that is way deeper of a connection and better in the long run. The internet is just imperative at this point. And if you don't know how to work the internet, you could be the best artist in the world, but you're not gonna sell any copies. Nobody's gonna stream your music just because the internet's like a tool that everybody needs now. Now you can hire somebody else to do it. That's what the labels are there for, because a lot of these artists don't know how to work social media. So that's why they get managers and whatnot. There's some game for y'all. If you don't know how to work the social media, you kind of have to, but just have somebody follow you around, take pictures and take videos of you out and shit. That's really the way to go. So SoundCloud has ruined music. Let's see. In conclusion, I don't think it's ruined music. I think it's made the top better, but it's made a lot of fucking mid for sure. I also feel like SoundCloud opens up an organic entryway for listeners and artists, whereas before, sure, he's talking about breaking records and working them with DJs and whatever, and I feel like people do have to put more effort into their releases and be proud of their work rather than just dropping in and be like, yo, everybody listen to it, and then like dipping a week later. No, promote that shit for like the next month. But nowadays everything's organic, or at least for a certain time period. And there are still artists nowadays that are completely organic, or very much so, before they sign to a label, then they get the gasoline poured on them. Yeah, SoundCloud made it so that people could make their own way rather than being completely dependent on the label. Whereas like 20 years ago, you could not make it in the music industry if you did not have the connections, which sucks. And that's why so many good rappers were probably passed up, even if they were better than Tupac or Juice WRLD or whatever, just because they didn't know anybody. So they got a regular job at an Amazon warehouse or some shit, never rapped again, or they rapped in their free time freestyling, but they never got the chance. But yeah, SoundCloud did for sure change music entirely. It made everything more authentic. That was the best part about it. And there are so many new styles of music. It's so accessible to listen to a bunch of different songs by a bunch of different artists and genres. It opened up that. Whereas before, you kind of had to go into a CD shop or whatever, vinyl shop, cassette player shop, and you had to buy a CD before you listened to it. Nowadays, you pay $10 a month for Spotify and you can listen to 1 million songs. Whereas before, you paid $10 and you got one album, and if it's ass, you're shit out of luck. You gotta go buy another fucking 10-song album, which it doesn't give people as much of a chance. So I think the transition is that the music is the marketing. You get paid less per stream, but you can access way more people, and a lot more people can try out your music. Whereas before, sure, you could sell 1 million copies, but a lot of people don't even get the chance to reach that many ears in that time period. Whereas now you can sell more tickets to your shows and make more money that way than you would have made if you sold 1 million copies with an album, because you reach more people and you can sell them more merch. So in all, it's like a net positive in my opinion. And then you're not dependent, since the internet is alive, you're not dependent on the label to do all this shit for you. I can't even imagine what the 360 deals were back in the day. They were probably fucking slave contracts, like legit. You can't do anything. Wasn't there other softwares like SoundCloud in the early 2000s? There was like LimeWire, among other illegal torrent downloaders and shit, but you know, everybody ruined at least one computer downloading music like that, because you can download that's how Soulja Boy blew up. But Soulja Boy, you could download one of his songs, crank that, and it could be like fucking porn or some computer virus where they take all your information and sell it, or your credit cards. Back in those days, I don't even think they had autofill for credit cards, so I don't know what information they would sell. But nowadays, they could steal your whole bank account. There was SoundClick, okay, but I feel like it just wasn't as big. Like there might have been softwares like SoundCloud, but he's talking more so not necessarily about the software or the site of SoundCloud or the application. He's talking about like the popularity of it all, because the internet did exist. Like there was MySpace, which is kind of like a Facebook account, but for some reason Facebook just caught on. Like it was the networking is what it was, because you could find friends of friends and then meet people that way. That was the technology of Facebook. I took a coding class and that's what it was. Although MySpace might have done that, they still do maybe, I don't know. I've never really used MySpace like that. Napster,